Hello everyone, today we're going to see how you can study for the OC test. The OC test is a New South Wales test taken by Year 4s to determine if they can get into an OC class, the Opportunity class. The Opportunity class is a class for gifted and talented students, and quite a number of schools have them, and they can range from the Year 5 OC class to the Year 6 OC class, both of them, or maybe a composite class. So let's see how you can study to maybe get a good score on these tests and get into one yourself. The first thing you can do is study from exercise books. Both news agencies and bookstores sell these, and there are a lot of them that can help you that also cater. So they cater from the OC test to selectives, to NAPLAN, to HSC, to scholarship tests. And there are some that I really like that I used a lot. They're called Excel Revised in a Month books, and you can look out for the OC version of those. And what they do, the book is split up into 4 sections, so 4 weeks, and each of those weeks is split up into 5 days. And so they cover all of the subjects of the OC test, which I forgot to mention before, which are maths, general ability, and comprehension. The second thing you can do is learn a new thing every day in maths, and this will do 2 things. 1, it will increase your general knowledge in maths, and 2, it will make your reasoning better. So when you find a harder sort of question that has a lot of words and it might need you to figure out a lot of stuff, then you can connect things easily and it will be easier for you to find a solution. What this will also do is expand your general knowledge of the types of things that you can do in maths, and therefore the types of problems that you can solve. So from personal experience, the OC test is very unpredictable, and so the more math stuff you know, the more questions and types of questions you can solve. The third thing you could do is to read a book or part of a book every single day. And this is mainly good for vocab, but it has other uses for other tests. So it's good for comprehension and general ability, because for comprehension, if you know more words, then you can understand more of the text, and you can answer questions like, oh, what is this text about? What is this paragraph about? What is this word closest to? What does this refer to? And those sorts of questions. For general ability, it's good because you're often asked to compare questions which are similar, so this word is to that word as another word is to what, and they give you a couple of options. So that's a very common format question. And another one is for you to spot which word is the odd one out. And often they'll put 4 words and you'll see which one doesn't fit with the other. So if you know the meaning of all those 4 words, you can easily tell what word would be the odd one out. And they also have NGA questions like this word is closest to what, and they give you a couple of options. So the fourth thing you can do is learn to connect and identify things. And so this is related to general ability. So if you have a visual puzzle, for example, and maybe you have rotating boxes and moons and stars and whatever, you have to learn to separate each element of the puzzle and connect it to the next element. So maybe in one box, the star is upright, and the next it's rotated 90 degrees or something. Or maybe it's rotated 45 degrees, and you have to see that pattern and see it continuously, and you often have to figure out the next box in the series. And so what you have to do, you have to figure out the pattern of each segment, and you have to put them all together once you figure them out and put in the next box. And another thing that you have, another sort of problem is a code. So say for example I have this code here, hello equals igopt, and the code to this is that each letter has a change in order to get to the next letter. And so this time you have a change of +1, but in the next letter that change is increased by 1 letter. And so there is a constant increasing change for each letter until you get to the last letter. And so this is what I say again when you need to separate each element, but this time you may also have to connect the elements together in order to get the result. These last 3 tips you could do are things you could do during the test. So for my 5th tip, what you can do is, if in doubt, use trial and error. And this is normally used for multiple choice, and this is really good during the OC test, since it is mostly made up of multiple choice questions. The trial and error is where you plug answers in to the question until it's correct. So this example here, I've got 3 times 4 plus 5 equals what? And I've got 4 options. A, 9, B, 17, C, 12, D, 20. And on the right is my working out. So I chose 17, for example, and I want to see if that's correct. So 3 times 4 plus 5 equals 17, hopefully. So I do 3 times 4 first, because order of operations mean you have to do multiplication before addition. So it becomes 12 plus 5 equals 17, and I can add 12 plus 5 together, and that becomes 17 equals 17, which is correct. So I got the correct answer. But in case you chose another option like 9 or 12 or 20, then when you figure out that's not correct, you just have to keep plugging in the rest of the options until you find the one that is correct. The 6th tip I can give you is, when confused, read the question again. Often people in tests will be stressed out and they'll skip over stuff. So what will help is, well, firstly read the question again, and secondly, you could try to underline stuff. So underline the key information, and often it's then that you will be able to focus on the stuff you need to know, and you'll be able to figure out the question. This last tip I'm giving you is probably the most important of all. When a question is way too hard, even when you've done everything you can, the 7th tip I can give you is, if a question is too hard, mark it and keep going. So you're on a test, right? You're on the OC test. You've gone through maybe half the test, nearly half, and you get to this question, you can't just seem to figure it out. And so you spend the rest of the test time trying to figure out that question, but you're not getting any headway. And then by the time the test timer is done, you've only done half of the test, and you still haven't figured out that problem. What you need to do is, if you're in that situation, you get to that problem, you can't figure it out, give yourself maybe 30 seconds to a minute to try to figure it out. Then if you can't, mark it with an asterisk on the side or maybe next to the number, and keep going. And because often there will be questions beyond that will be easier than that, and you can figure it out quite easily and get more marks. So, and if you have time, when you've done the test, then you have to go back and look back at those questions that you've marked with an asterisk, and you have to try to figure those out again. If this video is helpful to you, please remember to leave a like, and if you're looking forward to some content in the future, by all means subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video.